Hello and welcome to Deep Cuts the Game, the movie trivia podcast with great movies and great guests. Every week I bring on three interesting people from the world of entertainment, give them three movies, and challenge them to pull out the most obscure actors they can. The deeper the cut, the more points they earn. I'm your host, Jeff Penn, and with me as always, the Quibi of co-hosts, Alex Young. Yeah, I almost said quo-host because...
Yeah, you did. You did. You did a bad job of your own joke, Jeff.
Yeah. But you're here.
Quibi is a very specific reference for Canada only.
Oh, is it really? Was it only a Canadian thing?
I believe so. Craig shaking his head at me, but
I don't think so, because they had all those like the Christoph Waltz mini series, right? Like there was no way that was Canadian only. And didn't Kevin Hart's thing start on Quibi?
I thought that was a different thing, but maybe you're right. Listen, nobody remembers Quibi.
No. I think everyone thought it was going to be a great idea, and then it got sold for a bunch of money, and then all the stuff. I think all the stuff's on Roku now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, re-edited back to like regular length.
Yeah, they've turned it all into full-length movies and TV shows. And I have watched some of them. Like I said, there's that Christoph Waltz. Essentially, it's like The Running Man, essentially, but they've called it something else, and it was pretty good.
I watched the flipped one that they did with Will Forte and Caitlin Olsen. That was good. That was a good show.
That was good. Was it Caitlin Olsen? Yeah, it was Caitlin Olsen one. Yeah, that was a good one. Well, Alex, do you have anything to talk about?
No, Jeff. I only want to talk about Quibi. That's all that I brought to the table.
Well, we're back. We've also got our friend Craig Smeaton here. I don't know. We got to be up around 12 visits from Craig, if I'm not mistaken. But we have not seen him since the first episode of this season with Corin Nemec, where
that was fun.
Yeah, where you beat Corin at the game, you son of a bitch. Sorry. But that's okay. That's okay. It happens. But we have another guest with us today as well. Today's guest is a filmmaker who's quietly become one of the most prolific voices in modern genre cinema. A writer, director, and producer working across action, thriller, horror, and westerns, building fast-paced, character-driven films for today's streaming audience. With more than 40 directing credits, his work includes The Second, Pursuit, Dead Man's Hand, and Clear Cut. Along the way, he's collaborated with actors like John Cusack, Nicolas Cage, Heather Graham, and Alec Baldwin. He represents a modern wave of filmmakers, keeping the gritty mid-budget action tradition alive. Please welcome Brian Skiba. Brian, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, dude. We're still at the point where we're happy that Craig shows up for the show, let alone, someone who's got like 40 directing credits under his belt. So if I'm not mistaken, you're from Arizona.
Grew up in Arizona. I live in LA, but yeah, I grew up in Arizona and, paid my dues there, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I noticed something on, one of your bios, and it was like you were the Arizona Filmmaker of the Year in like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah. No, I had just done a movie with Dean Cain and Michael Madsen, and that was
wow.
And I kind of came out of the like Arizona, I came out of the Arizona filmmaking scene for sure, but there was like a real heavy emphasis on the 48-hour film festivals and those kind of things in Arizona. So they had the Phoenix Film Festival, and then they had their A3F, Almost Famous Film Festival. And so I kind of, when I graduated film school, I jumped into those and did really well there. And then when I did the film with Michael Madsen and Dean Cain, they were like, "Oh, we should give you a statue." And so I was like, all right.
Well, that's so I was just, and so yesterday I was watching Gunslingers, one of your more recent films, that's honestly got a pretty deep cast. Like it's bordering on a deep cut cast. Cause I saw the first names off the top, with Stephen Dorff and Heather Graham. We've had William McNamara on the show before. But then, there's Nicolas Cage, and then it was Cooper. What's that guy's name?
Cooper Barnes.
Cooper Barnes. I was like, why do I know this guy? And he's from like a kid's show that my kids used to watch called like
Captain Man.
Harvey Danger. So like Harvey Danger. Yeah, he was Captain Danger. And I was like, oh, I know this guy. But so, and if you don't want to talk about Nicolas Cage in any way, that is totally fine. But I want to ask, there's always kind of like the faces of Cage, like the many different kind of layers that you can get from a Nicolas Cage performance. And I got to say, this was I don't know if it's one of my favorite Nicolas Cage's performances, but it's definitely one of the most memorable. And I'm just wondering, like, when you're working with someone like Nicolas, who probably has his way of working, like, what kind of direction are you giving him? Or is this Nick has come in with like, this is what the character is going to be like?
It was pretty collaborative for the most part. I mean, it was, you know, we talked. That movie was such a strange experience because it had died in December, and I didn't think it was going anywhere. And because we had Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson ripped up his shoulder and couldn't do it anymore. So
Okay.
and so I thought it had died. And then Randall Battenkoff, who's in the film and also a
He's like
producer,
the mayor of the town, I think, right? Yeah.
yeah, one of no, he plays Doc, but
Okay.
the mayor's Costas Mandalar. But
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
yeah, but you know, Randall came to me and was like, "Hey, man, I've got a, you know, I've got a way to get the script to Cage." And I was like, "Okay," you know. And of course, you don't put any water when somebody tells you that. You're just like, you know, that's everybody in Hollywood has a way to get to somebody.
Yeah.
And but it, you know, Randall came through. You know, Randall got it to him. He read it. He's like, "I really like this, you know, this character." And you know, Ben, he liked the spiritual aspect of him, and he doesn't have guns, and you know, and so yeah, so Cage came on, but then there was this requirement of, okay, but I'm busy because I start Spider-Man Noir in about 3 weeks. I have a trip to Japan in 1 week or 2 weeks. Or, sorry, it was like I have a trip to Japan and I start Spider-Man Noir. So if you want me, you got to start filming in basically 2 weeks. And we were just like, what? And and it was like, yeah, you have to start filming in 2 weeks. And so somehow we threw it together. It was one of those just like last minute, let's just throw this movie together, you know, race out to Kentucky and make this movie. And so I talked to him over a period of those 2 weeks, and very collaborative. You know, we talked about the glasses and the hat and all that kind of stuff. And he was very involved, and he's uber respectful, you know, loves the craft, you know, and, you know, it's refreshing to work with somebody of his stature like that. And then he, you know, and then he showed up and got in the actual costume the morning of, and we only had him for 2 days. So it was,
Oh, wow.
it was only 2 day shoot with him. And it was the first 2 days because, you know, of course our schedule was so tight. So we had him the first 2 days of shooting. I go in the trailer and start talking to him, and he's got the outfit on, and he's like, Brian, I'm feeling a voice, you know, I'm feeling this voice. And I'm like, okay, what's the voice, man? And so he starts pitching me all these different voices, and he really liked this kind of Miles Davis thing, and was like, that's what I'm doing, you know, I'm doing. And he came out on set and went with it. And you know, and at first, you know, I guess when you're there in the moment, you know, it was like, this is something different. And so I really had to lean into it in the fact that, like, look, it's better than a guy walking out and just being like stoic and I'm just going to phone it in. I'm going to collect my money. I'm only here for 2 days. I'm going to be stoic and just throw it, you know, throw it on the wall, go home. And it is what it is. You know, this is, you know, so when he came out and he actually put his heart and soul into it and then had this thing in my mind, I was like, you know what? People will remember this. It will be memorable, you know, whether or not you like the performance. You know, it is very polarizing. I've found since the release, his performance has very polarizing effects to his fans, but it's memorable, you know. And the people who do like it love it. I know people are like, I've watched it eight times, and the people that hate it, you know, they love to vocalize their hate. So, you know, there's always haters, but the thing I can say about that film is, you know, at least my film, Cage showed up, gave me a great performance. Whether you like the voice or not is, you know, your own opinion. But I thought it was fun. I laugh. You know, I think people that do enjoy it quote his lines, and you know, so it's is it a home run? No, but I'm pretty sure we got to second or third.
Is interesting, this book. It's this Bible. It's try. Read it. It's good.
So.
Well, I'm happy you told me he was only there for 2 days, because I can only imagine the strain that voice would have put on him if he had to do it for like 2 or 3 months, kind of thing.
Yeah,
because it was like, this looks painful to even, you know, it was a very like, you know, and he's just, every word he says seemed like an ordeal. But yeah,
and he never broke character either. When he shows up in the morning, he stays in character all the way until he goes home. And,
Jesus.
and so he does not. He stays in that voice. The only time he would break the voice is as occasionally when he would come talk to me. But everybody else, he always had the voice. It was in character. If you came and talked to him and like, hey man, I love Face Off, he'd be like, I'm not there right now. And you go back into his character. So
I mean, that's honestly, that's what you want from him, right? Like if all the stories we've heard about Nicolas Cage and stuff like that, if you're like, he's really just a normal guy that likes to hang out and play with his dog, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping he'd be a little more eccentric, but no, that's cool. So you work fast, if I'm not mistaken, on your films. Like you mentioned this movie, you thought like in December it was done. So and you said Cage was there for 2 days. You got this movie together, in a couple weeks. Like, what is your kind of like your work process, kind of like from script to finished project?
I don't know. Right now, it's very strange, and it's not a process I particularly enjoy either, because it's I'm Gunslingers, I was asked by Grindstone / Lionsgate, they're Grindstone's owned by Lionsgate, their subdivision. They used to be the home entertainment, but now they're becoming like a specialized label. I was asked by them to do a Western because I had already done one for them. It did well. So they were like, Dead Man's Hand. And so they're like, let's do another one. And, we like this kind of idea, and I was pitched the idea. So I wrote the script. Took about a year to get the script really put together and approved. But, when it goes fast. So that's one like process that I do is kind of like commission based, where it's like, Lionsgate comes to me and says, this is what we're looking for. Last couple of films I've done, which is I have an Aaron Eckhart film that'll come out probably in the fall. It's called Scorpion. And like Clear Cut. Those are films where it was like, the script was existing and I was called, 3 weeks before the shoot, and they're like, hey, we need a director, come out here, and so those are rough, those are rough. It's not a process that I necessarily enjoy, and I'm trying to push away from, honestly. I'd like to get into a creative process where it's, where you've got 8, 9, 10 weeks of prep and, and actually, 25, 30 days of shooting. Cause these are all 15-day shoots. I mean, wow. I'm cranking out, these action films in 15 days. And, with that kind of schedule, it's very tough to actually make it work, so, I think we do a pretty good job of it, but it's definitely, it's challenging. It's challenging. And there's stuff on the page that you can never get, like the opening of Scorpion was helicopters in Istanbul. It's like, okay, we're shooting in Kentucky and we got 15 days. Even Aaron Eckhart was like, yeah, that's not happening. So
yeah, maybe it's ATVs through the forest rather than helicopters. Yeah.
Yeah. So and exactly. You learn to compromise, and you learn how to like think on your feet very fast, and so I'm good at that. And that's why I get those calls, I'm really trying to lean on, with, I think Cage is, the Gunslingers was my last major release, and I've kind of cooled it off on purpose. I've got the Aaron Eckhart film coming out, but then I've kind of cooled it off, and I'm leaning more into, I just signed a deal to direct a film that's kind of The Exorcist meets Groundhog's Day. So
I mean, those are both two of my, like, in their genre, those are two of my favorite films. So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's
Stephen Tobiaski in it.
What's that?
Is Stephen Tobiaski in this one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Needle Nose Head. Yeah.
That'd be cool. But no, we're actually right in the middle of casting right now. I just went through cast list this morning with the casting director. But it's but that one, they're like, yeah, we're going to give you plenty of days and plenty of prep, and it's like, so I'm really like being a lot more selective on kind of what I'm going to take next, because I want it to be, I feel like Gunslingers was right there. I almost hit that home run. So if I can find the next project and really put the time in right, I feel like I can hit it and get that home run. So
what's it like for, like, so you only had Nicolas Cage for 2 days. Is it a big, and like, you're used to doing this, like these 15-day shoots now. Is it a big change for someone like Cusack or Baldwin or Heather Graham to come in and be like, yeah, we're not doing this, isn't months of filming where we're going to get, 28 takes kind of thing. This is like, we're doing this in 15 days. Like, is it a big change for some people?
No. I mean, everybody you mentioned is so seasoned. I mean, Heather was cast 2 days before we started rolling camera. I mean, we had, what happened was Cage said yes, and we hadn't cast that role yet. And so we started going out to people, and it spread around town super fast that A, it was a Nicolas Cage movie, and B, that we had to shoot in 2 weeks. So all the agents were just like, oh, okay, we're going to hold you hostage, And so everybody who would normally cost, schedule F, 75 grand or whatever, was all of a sudden giving us quotes of 300,000. And the studios were just like, no. And so Heather was a friend. And so she came in 2 days before, hadn't even really read the script, and just showed up. And so yeah, it's, but she was a trooper. And no, I mean, the fast paced schedule, I think it was a little rough for her just because she didn't have the prep, but somebody like Cusack, no, that guy came in, he knew the script inside out. And we had Cusack for 5 days on that show. I mean, he was there, and he really put in his time, and was just, Cusack's very much an intellect. And so he really had his part down and what he wanted to do. And so he was a lot of fun to work with. Baldwin, we got him, I think 3 months after the incident. And so he was he was a little distracted with that, but, he's another guy that is, again, loves the craft. I mean, just loves the craft. And so when we got on set, you could tell at first, when I met him in the hotel, he was a little shaken, and he talked to me about everything, was very forthcoming as to what happened. Absolutely, I feel like he's innocent, and the outcome was appropriate. But, when he got on set, he very much, all of a sudden it was like, I'm in the craft again. And he just loved it. He loved being there. And granted, we only had for 2 days, but, it was fun. He's fun to work with, because I like to operate. I run my camera. So, I run one of the cameras. Typically we have two, and he just got a kick out of seeing me running around with the camera, trying to get the shots with him, so, because we only had 2 days. So it was like, I'm literally running in front of the crew while they're back there, going slow with Alec, and we'd get to the set and I'd be like, hurry everybody, let's go. And Alec thought that was fun. So,
oh man, that's cool.
But, I've not had anybody show up and really complain about the tight schedules. Everybody's everybody's cool. So.
Well, I mean, because the other side you hear of is people are like, oh, I had to be on this set for 3 months. I was away from my family and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, not here. We're going to get you home in 10 days kind of thing. Right. So, is there anything you haven't gotten the opportunity to, like a type of film? Like you do a lot of Western, you got some horror, definitely within the action realm. Is there, like, you mentioned this Exorcist, Groundhog Day kind of film. I'm assuming it's leaning heavy on the horror aspect rather than the comedy aspect, but is comedy ever anything that you've kind of wanted to dip your toe into?
Rotten Tail is actually a horror comedy. I've not ever done actually a straight horror,
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do next. And the film's called Marcus. That one is very much a straight horror. It's like, there's no, the only aspect of Groundhog's Day that it is the day continually repeats, other than that, it's like Exorcist,
Okay.
And so that, so I'm excited to do that, because, straight horror has not been one that I've had an opportunity to do as far as a feature goes. I've done horror comedy. Blood Moon Rising was my first film. That was horror comedy. We had no money. I was right out of film school, and somehow E1 picked it up at the time, and then you know, and then Rotten Tail, which is definitely horror comedy, and unfortunately, it was when it was released, it was misrepresented. The distributor cut a trailer that tried to make it look like it was a horror film and not the comedy, and so people got confused, you know, when they saw it. And then Joe Bob Briggs put it on his television show because he saw it, loved it, thought it was hilarious, put it on his show, and then all of a sudden it took off and got this, you know, kind of cult following. And every Easter, I get begged to make another one. So it's crazy. But I would, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to do some straight horror. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is, you know, the action market is definitely, it's like, the mid-range action market is slimming. It's definitely becoming smaller. And the streamers just have so much money to dump into these big action films. It's very hard to compete. So, and so I'm seeing, you know, I'm just following the trends. And right now the trend is definitely horror. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think, Alex, we've talked about it, like probably maybe the hardest film to make are comedies, just because like if the script isn't good, the movie's not funny, so who cares? Whereas like with horror films, like you get some good kills in there and some good action, then you know you're golden. So well, I hope you get to do it, and I hope you make a banger. I'm looking forward to it.
And comedy's secular too as well. I mean, comedy, you know, what we find funny in Asia, they may not think is funny at all. And I mean, it's, I think, you know, you watch a British comedy, half the time you're like, I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Put the subtitles on. I can't understand these guys.
Yeah, I had a friend do a horror, an action comedy, and it's very good with Scott Adkins, and he did a great job with it. But there are moments where you're just like, he's busting up next to me, and I'm just like, I don't get it. You know, so it's very secular. But you know, horror translates everywhere, and I think that's what's cool. Yeah.
Well, why don't we get into a game of deep cuts, Brian? So the first thing we got to do is decide who's going to go first, second, or third. And what I do is we do this little thing called the IMDb Best Known For game. So I present you in the name of an actor or an actress, and then you got to try to tell me what you think is number one on their best known for on IMDb. I was going to do Nicolas Cage, but I feel like we've done him before, Alex. So I switched it up at the last minute. I'm glad we did because Brian mentioned her. So tonight's actress is Heather Graham. So Brian, I'm going to ask you to go first. Can you let me know what you think is the number one thing on Heather Graham's IMDb?
Boogie Nights. It's gotta be
Boogie Nights. It's not a bad guess. Craig Smeaton, you've been very quiet.
That would have been mine.
Okay.
But I'm going to say something crazy because I noticed she was on an episode of Sex and the City as herself.
Oh, okay.
I just happened to see it last night or 2 nights ago. Yeah.
Sex in the City. Okay. Alex Young, which way are you going?
You know, I'm gonna kind of stick within the wheelhouse of our conversations this evening, and she's recently done a horror movie that I caught on Shudder not long ago called Suitable Flesh. So I'm gonna say Suitable Flesh.
Suitable Flesh. Well, only one of you is on the board tonight.
Is it me?
No shit.
It's not you. I will tell you this. At number 4 is Lost in Space.
Oh,
okay.
Which kind of forgot, but now that I think, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, Matt LeBlanc and her. Number 3, Bowfinger.
Good choice.
Which I'm like, okay. Number 1 is Austin Powers. I can't remember which one she was in, but she's in the.
I think Spy Who Shagged Me. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Second one.
Yeah.
Great
And then number 2 has to be Boogie Nights. So Brian, you got the closest to number 1. Would you like to go first, second, or third for this game of deep cuts?
I'll go next round. I'll stick where I'm at. I'll go first. Yeah.
All right, Brian in at number 1. I don't like either one of Alex's or Craig's guesses. They're both terrible.
I'm the farthest, I think.
I think you're farthest away. Like if she was in one episode of Sex and the City, had you said,
I just thought
if you said Scrubs or something, I would have been like, okay, yeah, she's in a few episodes of
Digstown,
Scrubs.
that would have been good.
Digstown would have been a good one.
Well, Goldfinger would have been my second one. But,
yeah, I forgot that.
Somebody,
she's great in that.
I was trying to think what else I really like. I have kids, so like I remember, like for whatever reason, like Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer is a movie that is like a touchstone for me. I'm not sure
Wasn't
why.
She in Hangover also?
Yeah, Hangover would have been a good one. I think Hangover would have been a decent film. film for her. So Alex, would you like to go second or third?
I'm gonna go third.
Alex at third, Craig at number 2. So tonight we get to find out the 3 movies. Alex asked me beforehand. He's like, "Do I need to do any homework for tonight's movies?" And I'm like, "No, you're not getting any hints because I think at least 2 of the movies tonight are well known enough by everyone. The third one, it's quite a bit older, but I have a feeling Craig probably knows this one really well." So from 2016, Deadpool. That's the first Deadpool. From 2002, Gangs of New York. And from 1984, this feels so long ago now when I think about it, like 42 years ago, Red Dawn. So while you, the 3 of you, take a moment to think about some of the deep cuts from those 3 films, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
We're sorry to interrupt the show you're listening to, and we're going to prove that by keeping this ad short.
This is Seth and Michelle, the hosts of Movie Friends, and we're so respectful of your time that we're not going to use the full 60 seconds to promote our show.
Has this ever been done in the history of advertising?
Never! New episodes release every Monday, and with over 300 episodes and counting, there is sure to be something for everyone.
We're a community-driven show that believes film discussion can be friendly and without pretension.
We've been called relaxing,
Intelligent,
zesty,
and fun. There must be a catch though, right? Like we probably blather on for 4-hour episodes.
That's the best part. We don't blather. Not a lot, at least.
Blather is such a good word.
A truly underutilized word.
Yeah. What were we doing?
I don't remember.
Movie Friends, fun conversations from across film history. Visit our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and listen to our show everywhere you get your podcasts.
And we did it with plenty of time to spare.
We are back with Deep Cuts, the game. We have Alex Young, Craig Smeaton, and Brian Skiba here talking about, we're playing a game of Deep Cuts, and the 3 movies tonight are Red Dawn from 1984, Deadpool, and The Gangs of New York. I was going to say, I watched Gangs of New York for the first time last night, Brian, and I had just watched Gunslingers as well, and the whole opening of Gangs of New York very much reminds me of the opening of Gunslingers. Like, just the intensity of the fight and the intensity of the shootout in Gunslinger, and Gunslingers doesn't even waste time with that, like, few little minutes of, like, walking it with this. It's just hard in, people getting shot in the face, people getting set on fire, and I was like, wow, they did not waste any time with this movie. And it's like, kudos to you. I like when movies just get to the point sometimes.
But they don't waste your time, Jeff.
I don't need any preamble. Just get to it. Give me what I came here for. So, Brian, you've elected to go first. So you can choose from any of these 3 movies, and you can go back and forth as much as you like. Who is someone from either Red Dawn, Deadpool, or Gangs of New York that you think people might have forgotten was in one of those films? Or has a very small part, or just, yeah.
I would go Gangs of New York. I don't know his name, but he plays Professor Moody in what do you call it?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah.
I think I know who we're talking about. No.
Nope, that's not his name.
No, Alex, we had him in a couple movies. I think he's in Art
Brendan
School Confidential. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Brendan Gleeson, and he's like the big heavy in...
And I don't believe he's a professor, so I don't know if we want... I think he was just Mad Eye. I mean, if we're splitting hairs.
I think he's teaching classes. I'm going to...
maybe he was.
He was a guest...
school anyway.
He was a guest lecturer at worst, for sure. So yes, Brendan Gleeson, who looks huge in this film. Like, he must be a big guy to begin with, but in this film, they've made him look extra big and dangerous. So Brendan Gleeson for 9 points. That's a good start to the game, Brian. We do on kind of a 20-point scale. So anything over 6, you're doing okay. So 9 is solid. Craig Smeaton, we're at you. What is your first deep cut?
I think so. All of these movies I've only seen once, and when they came out, I think is Stephen Graham in Gangs of New York.
Stephen Graham is in Gangs of New York. Yeah. He is one of the new gangs that sprung up after the other gangs are all kind of wiped out. Does not have many lines in this film, and is very young. It's pretty crazy that he went from like kind of being like a 3rd string, 4th string character to like, where he's at now. But yeah, Stephen Graham also for 9 points because he has probably more screen time than Brendan Gleeson does, but is maybe less recognizable.
Okay.
So that's a good one. It's a good one, Craig. Alex Young, you get 2 in a row here. So you get your first and your second deep cuts.
I'm also going to pull one from Gangs of New York. This is the only deep cut that I have, and I might be getting her name wrong, but there should be an actress in that movie by the name of Barbara Boucher, who I know from Lucio Fulci's Don't Torture a Duckling. I could not tell you who she played in Gangs of New York. All I know is when I watched Don't Torture a Duckling, I'm like, who the fuck is this woman? What else is she in? And I looked it up.
Alex, I typed in the name Barbara Boucher, which I wasn't sure how to spell, and it came up for Gangs of New York. It was her number one. I don't have her written down because I've never seen Don't Torture a Duckling. So
Great
I did
movie, and she is excellent in it.
In the 1967 James Bond Casino Royale, she plays Moneypenny.
Oh,
so none of us knew that, Alex. In Gangs of New York, she plays Mrs. Schemmerhorn. So I'm assuming she is married to someone. I kind of want to know who she's married to now, but I'll
Mr.
let you.
Schemmerhorn.
Yeah, I'll let you give me. So you're a jerk, and you get 20 points for Barbara Boucher because.
Right, I got nothing else, so
right.
I'm gonna write all those points and give you a bunch of 1-point answers after.
Okay, so what is your second deep cut?
Bobby Boucher.
That's right.
I found out who her husband is, and it's very fitting. It's very, very fitting, if I'm not mistaken. So
I don't know who it is. I'm gonna
Sean
pull one
Connery.
from Deadpool. And the actress who plays Negasonic Teenage Warhead is in another Shudder horror movie, Tragedy Girls.
Yes, her name is Brianna Hildebrand. So
It's
yeah,
funny.
it's a good
I
one.
actually know Brianna.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of, Deadpool's a great movie, obviously, and I know she doesn't have a ton of lines in it, but she's pitch perfect for that part.
Yeah, we were going to cast her in a film I was doing, and the schedules didn't work out, but we had a combo.
That sucks because
it happens all the time, man. Everybody's it's a busy town for actors. So.
Brianna Hildebrand, Alex, for 8 points. Well done. Craig, we're back to you. You just you gave us Stephen Graham. What's your second deep cut?
Gangs of New York. I'm not sure, but I think Henry Thomas is in Gangs
Henry
of New
Thomas
York?
is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's kind of the lead's best friend for the most part. So he's worth 6 points, Craig. Kind of didn't recognize him because it's a weird, like, I know him as a little kid, and I know him in like all the horror stuff that he's done recently with why can't I remember his with Flanagan. So like I know him as like a 50-year-old man, and I know him as like an 8-year-old boy. So to see him as like a 25-year-old, I was kind of thrown off. But yeah, Henry Thomas for 6 points. Brian, you get 2 in a row at this point. So what are your second and your third deep cuts? I'll let you know we do 6 rounds unless things go completely off the rails, in which case we do a 4-round game. For anyone who's listening to old episodes with 4 rounds, you will understand why.
I'm probably going to be a 4-round. I'm going to tap out. I'm just horrible with names. I would go Red Dawn and Leia Thompson or Thompson.
Thompson, yeah. Does she get away at the end? One of them gets away, one of them dies, and I can't remember which one gets away and which one dies. I think she might get away. She is worth 6 points because she's kind of outside that main group of the guys in that one. So that's a solid one. What's your third deep cut?
I work with a lot of people in Vancouver. So one of the dying guys on the bed in Deadpool's name is Elliot Montijo. Now, whether or not that's really on IMDb, that'll be the question. But he does have like 2 lines in the bed dying.
Is he the guy that he's talking to, like that they're joking around with?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be credited because so if anyone remembers, it's when Deadpool's going through essentially the torture and, he's dying.
Yeah, the director really liked Elliot, and he was like, "Hey, man, get in the bed." And so he was supposed to just lay there, and then they started having some dialogue, and he ended up with a couple of lines. But
All right, let me see if I can find a person named Elliot. There is, but I'm not seeing anyone in the credits.
yeah,
Shit.
super deep behind the scenes cut.
All right. Maybe he's in like some deleted scenes that are not credited on IMDb. So unfortunately, I cannot give you any points for that guy. That's all right. It happens. Craig Smeaton, we're back to you for your third deep cut.
I can't remember. I'm trying to pick someone from Deadpool, but can't think of a thing. So I'll go Red Dawn, Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey, that was the other girl. I think she gets shot and dies because she's just been making eyes at one of the male leads, and they're kind of like maybe going to start something up, and then she gets gunned down by like an attack helicopter. Complete overkill. And what I think's funny about that movie is that like you've got all these like teenagers out in the woods, but like none of them are having sex. Like, come on. There's no way.
So much stress, though, man.
I know, but they're out there for like months and months and months. So Jennifer Grey for the same as for Leah Thompson, 6 points, Craig. Alex Young, back to you for your third and your fourth.
At the beginning of Gangs of New York, he can't be worth many points, but he's not in it much. Doesn't Liam Neeson get killed?
Liam Neeson plays the lead's dad. Yeah. And like I was saying, there's this whole like preamble of them walking through the tunnels opposite of Gunslingers where nobody's walking through tunnels. People are just immediately getting hacked up. So Liam Neeson for 6 points, Alex, because he's a giant star, but like you said, dies kind of within the first 10 minutes of that film. What's your fourth deep cut, Alex?
I'm going to go back to the Deadpool and the Indian cab driver in it who like becomes part of the team is also in a show called Miracle Workers. Daniel Radcliffe and Steve Buscemi.
His name is Karan Soni, I believe is his name, and he is worth 7 points, Alex. Because I think he shows up for all the Deadpool movies.
Yeah, and he's in a ton of stuff. Like he's always anything that's like funny on TV, he's probably in it.
So that's a good one. Craig, back to you. You just gave us Jennifer Grey.
I C. Thomas Howell.
Thomas Howell.
Red Dawn.
It's kind of maybe third build.
Yeah.
Third amount of screen time in this movie. Third big. He might even be the second biggest star at this point.
He was in Soul Man, so that was a big.
So C. Thomas Howell for 3 points.
Oh my goodness! Have I ever got a 3 point in my entire life?
I don't think so, unless you were just doing it for shits and giggles. But Brian, we're back to you. You got your fourth and your fifth. You're not out of this, my friend. No one's running away with it. So
I think Alex has the game for sure. Because I can't get much deeper. Yeah. No, I mean at this point I'm guessing like Ryan Reynolds and stuff. I just don't know. I remember the pilot in Red Dawn starred in a bunch of stuff. I just don't remember what else he was in. I think he was on TV shows. I wish I could remember his name.
He's kind of one of those guys that is more name famous than he is credits famous. He's one of those guys like I can really only think of like 4 things he's in, and this is one of them. He's no longer with us.
No,
passed away some time ago. Handsome guy, dark hair. Alex mentioned him because you said this other actor kind of looks like this guy, and I was like, oh, I see what you're talking about.
When did I say this?
We were doing the movie UHF.
All right.
All right. I'm trying to get you there. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I mean I'll go Patrick Swayze because I can't think of anyone.
Patrick Swayze, not that there's a star of Red Dawn, but he's kind of the face of Red Dawn at this point. So he's worth 1 point. But so this means we come right back to you, Brian. We need your fifth deep cut. I wish I could get you to the guy.
Yeah, the pilot in the tank was really good.
Guy,
I can see like him in the other shows too. He was on TV a lot.
He's got like a gruff kind of voice.
I'm just horrible with names. I'm good with faces. Like I can.
He's in a movie with McConaughey and Bill Paxton.
What's that?
He's in Tombstone. If that helps anyone.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, Craig just got it. Yeah,
That's kind of not fair, but yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he's
Craig's
not.
got it.
Yeah.
You're taking it, buddy. So
Okay.
Well, it's kind of not fair, but
Brian, if you could give me, if you got to give me Ryan, that's cool. If you got to give me one of the other main stars from Gangs,
I'll give you a hint. Cool. I'll give you a hint.
Visually, yeah, and then.
But mind you, I'm not that.
I just don't remember. Yeah. I guess I'm going with Leo on Gangs of New York.
Yeah. Leo DiCaprio.
I'm really good with faces, horrible with names. So.
Don't worry, the stakes couldn't be lower.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Craig.
Better than Corin did, though. I'm gonna have to call him afterwards and be like,
Corin, I think was pretty close between. Craig, you beat Corin, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did. What was Corin?
I bet that one that you couldn't find, I bet he's in there somewhere, but I guess you didn't. It wasn't there.
You
right?
scored, Craig. You had like one of your best games, and Corin beat Alex. Corin scored 44, so he did okay. And to be fair, Corin, the only movie we did that Corin was in was Tucker, the Man in His Dream, when he was like 12 years old. So it's pretty hard to remember a movie, from 40 years ago, kind of thing. So, all right, Craig, we're back to you. Your fifth deep cut.
I feel bad, but
are you going to take it?
Corner like Baby was in Jennifer Grey was. Powers Booth, is that who it is?
Powers Booth is the guy you're thinking of there, Brian. Powers Booth.
I feel we should split the points or something. It's not you can
team effort.
Yeah.
He's worth 6 points, so he's not winning the game for anyone. He kind of has like a weird little like relationship with Leah Thompson in this film.
Yeah.
They're kind of. She's asking about his wife and stuff like that. And I'm like, this seems a little creepy. The movie I was alluding to, he was in Frailty with Bill Paxton.
Oh, yeah. He was
he's the FBI agent that's actually.
That's the one that Bill Paxton directed that, didn't he?
Yeah. And they hunt serial killers. It's actually, it's really good, actually.
Demons, yeah.
Yeah, Alex, we're back to you. You got your final two deep cuts.
I mean, they're both going to come from Deadpool. She can't be worth much. She's in a bunch, but Blind Al, the actress who plays Blind Al, was in Fallout Season 2, which I just finished watching.
Leslie Uggams is her name, and she's worth 9 points, Alex. Because you'd either have to you'd have to know her name or essentially have just finished watching Fallout, or you probably wouldn't know who she is. What's your final deep cut, my friend?
I mean, he's the villain. He can't be worth much, but he's also the villain in Rebel Moon. Ed Skrein.
Ed Skrein. I was like, I mean, I didn't watch Rebel Moon all the way through, so I didn't.
Those director's cuts are awesome.
Ed Skrein. You know what this guy always reminds me of? An angry-looking Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? Like, I think they were even a movie together, like Kill Your Friends or something like that. Like, they're in it together. And I was like, these guys look a lot alike. Just one of them looks really angry. And that'd be Ed Skrein. Craig Smeaton. Sorry, Alex. Ed Skrein worth 7 points.
Awesome.
Because you have to know his name.
Or that he's in Rebel Moon. He's in both of those movies. And they're like, that's like 6 hours a movie, man.
Craig Smeaton, we're back to you. What's your final deep cut?
Did I say C. Thomas Howell already?
Yeah, somebody said C. Thomas Howell already, and it was you.
Yeah.
Becomes a bit of a badass in this movie. Blows a guy. Like kills a
they
friend.
made the Soul Man joke, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Gangs of New York it's got to be some Scorsese people in that one. Some from his kind of crew. Like, is Jimmy G 2 times in that? From Goodfellas?
Jimmy 2, which
I'm joking.
Don't think so.
Oh gosh, I'm just gonna go Patrick Swayze. Be lame.
We already had Patrick Swayze.
Oh, you did? Okay. I'm sorry. I am.
All right. I'm
disassociating from this game. That's how bad I knew I was going to do. So sorry about that. Oh my god. T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller for 3 points.
Okay.
From Deadpool.
2 3-pointers. Oh my god.
It's all right, Craig. These things happen. Brian, we're back to you. It's your final deep cut. I know you don't think you have much left in the tank, but I mean, can you think of maybe who the villain is in Gangs in New York, or the love interest, or trying to think, or who directed it?
Who Gangs in New York?
Oh,
Yeah, who directed Gangs in New York?
cameo.
Oh, Scorsese.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it to you. It's not. He's in it. He's in a dinner scene when the female lead is robbing a house. It's his house that's being robbed. I'm giving you that one because it wasn't going to make a difference in the final.
I mean, I know he does cameos. I think he was in.
Oh yeah,
Taxi
he's
Driver too, right.
Yeah, he's usually got a little, or his mom does, or something like that. But this one, he's literally
like a voice on the phone or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see, who did we miss here? Gangs in New York. John C. Reilly would have been,
of course,
not huge, but I thought when Brian was talking about Harry Potter, I thought he was thinking Jim Broadbent, because Jim Broadbent is also in this film. Eddie Marzan, the British actor, is in it. The dad from Billy Elliot, the actor's name is Gary Lewis, is in it.
Of course, he's actually got a big part, isn't he? He's in the
he's Daniel Day-Lewis's like right-hand man kind of thing. And then when you were Alex, the woman that you got, that Barbara Bouchette or whatever, her husband is played by David Hemmings, who was in Barbarella.
Oh, okay.
But also,
wasn't he in like NCIS or something like that, or one of those shows?
I think he might have been, yeah. And then the other guy in it is Alex McCowan, who's Q in some of the old 007 films. Scorsese, and then there's a guy from The Wire and The Walking Dead, Lawrence Gillard Jr. is in it. From Deadpool, Gina Carano would have been decent points. Stan Lee has a cameo, of course, because Stan Lee's still kicking around. He's in it. And then the guy who wrote most of the Deadpool comics, Rob Liefeld, is in it. And then Red Dawn, honestly, had some decent cameos. So the mayor of the town is an actor named Lane Smith, from My Cousin Vinny.
And Lois from a Dean Cain point of view.
That's right, yeah. The teacher at the very beginning of Red Dawn, when all the parachutes are landing and the teacher goes out, "You can't be here." It's an actor named Frank McRae. He was in like 48 Hours. He's in Batteries Not Included. He's a really tall African-American actor. Seems like a nice guy. Ben Johnson from
If you're going to take away anything from this episode,
he seemed like a good guy.
Frank McRae, solid dude.
But you guys missed a couple good ones here. So there was Ben Johnson from The Wild Bunch is in it. Harry Dean Stanton is the dad of Patrick Swayze. And then one of my favorite ones is one of the other guys that's in their troupe is this actor named Brad Savage, and he's in the Salem's Lot 70s or 80s, and he's the kid tapping on the window that always freaked the shit out of me. And then Darren Dalton, who's also in the Outsiders, is in it. And then I wonder if you would. Okay, Brian, have you ever worked with Sasha Jensen?
No.
Okay. His dad plays C. Thomas Howell's dad in it. His name's Roy Jensen. He's also in Chinatown as Mulvihill, the guy that gets thrown out to the water and killed. So that would have been a good one. The final scores.
Is Sheb Woolley in Red Dawn?
I didn't get any there's no Sheb Woolley screams in Red Dawn, or at least not credited. Yeah. No Russians, or I mean, it was weird because they're like Nicaraguans, there's Cubans, there's Russians, there's a whole bunch of people in that movie. There was a guy from Superfly, Ron O'Neill was one of the bad guys in that. But the final score, Alex Young with a big win, 57 points. Craig Smeaton, 33. Brian Skiba, 29. Don't worry, not the worst we've seen, and not even the worst we've seen this season. So well done. Alex, you get to choose. Who would you like to see come on Deep Cuts next time?
Well, I'm gonna defer my win to Brian, because I am certain his Elliot has got to be in the movie. It's just he's simply not on IMDb, and I feel like that's a 20-pointer. So honorary win to Brian. I'll pass the burden on to him.
So Brian, what we ask is for anyone who's won the game, or in this case been burdened by the person who did win the game, to suggest a future guest. Now, this person is under absolutely zero obligation to come on the show. We're just thinking, do you know anyone who does have a brain for this sort of nonsense, as we like to put it, and kind of loves going, oh, that's that guy. So I don't know. Is there anyone that you've come across? They could be an actor, a director, writer, just a friend, somebody who likes movies. Anyone that jumps to mind?
I mean, everybody I know likes movies. You know, yeah. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I mean, my wife's done a lot of work. She's the one that actually shot Nick Cage in the leg. Lori Love.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Gunslingers. She's been in quite a few stuff. Rotten Tail. I mean, she's pretty popular, at least in my mind.
Cool.
So.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what. You can pitch it to her if it's you think she's something she's into it. We'd love to have her on and and quiz her like we did you.
She'll do way better than me for sure. So.
Awesome. And we're always looking to have more women on the show.
For sure.
We're definitely male heavy in our guests for the most part, but it's good to get some women on here that know their films. So, Craig Smeaton, we'll ask you first. Where can people find you? What do you got going on?
Nothing much. Things are going well. My the charity I'm on the board of is doing some good things. End of the season at the Out of the Cold Foundation. You can look that up at outofthecold.org. Homeless, taking care of Toronto's unhoused and food insecure population for almost 40 years now, I guess. And so that's good. And so our season just ended because it's the winters. There's a few programs we support that are open all year, but the main batch of them are open just in the winter months, but they just are wrapping up. And so that's that there. But yeah, good.
All right. Brian, how about you? I know I found you on Instagram. I think largely after we had Korn on, and then I started looking at the movies that Korn was doing, and I was like, "Who's this Brian guy?" So I hit you up on Instagram. Where can people keep track of what you've got coming up next?
Yeah, Instagram's probably the best. Brian_Skiba, and then yeah, I mean that's probably the best thing. But I mean I've got the Aaron Eckhart film that should be coming out
Scorpions,
in the fall called Scorpion. And then I've also got a thing that we're going to announce in July, which is called Station 13, and it's going to be a horror label. We're going to start. Nice. We've already got a couple of features attached to it. Some of them are done. But that will launch in July, and that'll be another way to kind of follow me. Station 13. It'll be, a horror sci-fi label basically. So we'll have all sorts of horror shorts and features, and we've got the guys from, Saw 3, 4, 5, 6, writing scripts for us, and so it should be a pretty exciting venture that's coming up soon. So
perfect.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome.
Love it. Alex Young, what's new with you, my friend?
Nothing's new, Jeff, but
I know I saw you on Monday, so I'm assuming nothing has changed.
You find me on social media and Letterboxd at the Alex Young. Also, get out to the movie theater, especially getting into the summer. Go catch some flicks. Big cinemas, small cinemas, whatever. Just see movies with the crowd. Put your phone away. Don't talk to anybody. Just sit and enjoy it.
Sounds good. All right, we're at the part of the show where Alex sends me an outro that I get to read sight unseen. Is there any notes for tonight's outro, Alex?
Sure is, Jeff, and I wonder if you could even guess it. I want you to give me your best, but also like the traditional sort of stereotypical Nick Cage impression.
Oh, really? You're an asshat. I'm afraid to look at what you've written.
I intentionally didn't make it too long because I didn't want you to sit in the hot seat for like 20 minutes.
What does the traditional Nick Cage sound like to you, Alex?
You can just do Miles. You can do Miles Davis.
I'm not.
I wouldn't do that. But give me
here's the thing.
The Andy Samberg SNL kind of Cage.
Like I stay up to watch SNL.
Also, he's been off the show for like 15 years, but
I'm 50,
it's a
man.
Famous reference.
Okay. He's never going to see this, so fuck. I need to give you a list of things I can do, and this being not being one of them. Yeah. You should have given me a heads up. I would have watched some tapes. I would have watched a tape and figured out. Give me one line. Give me one Nicolas Cage line.
We've got to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, thank you. End scene. We've traveled through the labyrinth, haven't we? We stared into the sun until our retinas burned with the absolute, unadulterated truth of the matter. And it was exhilarating. I want to inflict my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Brian and Craig for joining me today. This is fucking garbage. My read is garbage. The script is fine, Alex. You didn't have to share your time, but you did, and that's fucking rad. Deep Cuts is available anywhere you get your podcasts, so follow us. Subscribe, man. Don't miss a second of it. Life's too short. Thanks for listening. See you in the whirlwind. Everyone, thanks very much. We'll see you next week. Bye.